Hey everyone, Julian here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to nail the classic Korg M1 house piano sound. So we're going to be making something kind of similar to this. And yeah, so let's dive in. So to start off with, if you don't know, the Korg M1 is a famous synth made by Korg in the 90s. It was meant to kind of be like the Nexus of its time. If you're familiar with the synth Nexus, you know it's like just got a lot of kind of presets and you sort of work with it that way. This is very similar. It was just a lot of different presets and you could go in and work on them, but the idea was you started with one of those preset sounds and then, yeah, it was just kind of like a good way to dive in without having to do a whole lot of crazy synthesis stuff. So one of the most famous presets in the Korg M1 was this M1 house piano sound. You might recognize this. This is like literally the dance music piano. And so yeah, so you got to start with this preset. But once you do that, there are a few things you can do to kind of beef it up a little bit. And the first one is working with the chord voicing. So if you look at these chords here, these are all major and minor seventh chords that I have. And what I've essentially done is just put the root notes an octave down. And so what this kind of creates is it just sort of beefs it up naturally because you're literally just spanning the chords across the piano or across the keys a little bit more, and you're getting a wider range of frequencies just because of just because of the fact that, again, you're spreading this out, so it's going to cover more ground on the keyboard. So this is a really great way to beef this up because it's not like adding a whole bunch of compression or EQ or weird things that could potentially mess it up. It's just literally playing with the sound and using your keys in the most effective way. So this is one thing I could recommend. I'll put these up an octave and show you. So yeah, you can see all just minor and major seventh chords, and yeah, nothing really too special there. So the next thing I want to talk about is what's called the Haas effect, and the Haas effect can really benefit these M1 pianos because here it is without it. And here's with it. So you can hear it really helps to bring this thing to life, and it just kind of, the way that it's playing with the stereo field really makes it sound polished and clean to me. So if you don't know what the Haas effect is, the Haas effect is essentially when you take a sound and you split it into the left ear and the right ear, and what you do is you delay one of them ever so slightly forward, usually between like 10 and 50 milliseconds, and what that's essentially going to do is it's going to signal to your brain that there's this big wide stereo sound going on when really you just kind of delayed one of them forward a little bit. So the way you do this, I did it with an audio effect rack. I'll recreate it and show you real quick. It's very simple. You just get an audio effect rack, and then you're going to want to open up the chains here with this little thing. Right click and create chain 2 times. So create 2 chains, and then we're going to put one completely to the left and one completely to the right. On one of them, it doesn't matter which one, just one of them. We're going to put a simple delay. I'll use the right ear. And then on the simple delay, what you want to do is link the 2 ears so it's just one mono delay signal. Turn off the sync button so it's set to time. We'll set the time to 10 milliseconds like I was saying. Keep the feedback down all the way, and then turn the dry wet up all the way. And now, there you go. You have the Haas effect. So again, like I was saying, I think this really helps to like beef these up and just give them like this big stereo feel. Yeah, I think it just really helps to make it sound very clean and polished. So I'm going to turn mine back on. And the last thing I want to talk about is actually EQing. So this is probably the most simple part or the most obvious part, but EQing can go a long way with these sounds as well. So here is this one without this EQ. And here it is with. So as you can see, I did a slight cut. Well, not really a slight cut because I got down to like -5 or -6. And then a bit of a boost as well in the high end. And between these two, I think it just really helps to tie the whole thing together because it's cutting out this like low mid area where there tend to be a lot of like nasty boxy frequencies that don't really give it the clean digital sound you want from the M1. And then boosting here obviously just helps to bring out that like sparkly kind of high end on top of it. And so yeah, I really wouldn't underestimate EQing as like a way to really get these things under control. So that's gonna be it for today, guys. Make sure to let me know what you think of this video in the comments, and make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. and maybe even share the video if it really helped you out. Check out my sample packs, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another tutorial.